Hey, hi everybody, and welcome aboard. What's going on, you crazy cool kids? Welcome to this thing we call shoot. Alright, we're gonna have fun today. Too much Tony Bennett. Okay, so, hi, welcome aboard. This book is the video. I'm getting lots of stuff done. I posted a bunch of pages earlier today from the weekend, and in addition to that, I've unencumbered myself. I've opened myself up a little bit. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Sometimes it's important to go back to your established practices, things that you've been doing. And in the course of doing so, if you're at a point where you're frustrated, or you're at a point where something along your process is aggravating you, then you step back and go to those old. This is what I've always enjoyed and felt comfortable doing. Processes, the old standbys, it tends to open these new ones back up. And I've been plugging away in the studio today and having a lot of fun. So, anyways, let's get to this week's pages. This is a page that was started on Friday. This is the spaceship page with haunted spaceship. And this was fun. It's done on a jelly plated paper that I drew on with ballpoint pen and ink washes and a little pencil brand in there. And then I did that whole stamp of that silly dancing demon on top of the haunted monster. So that was fun to do. This weekend I also did I'm a Bat Man. So this was a fun page, just doing a sketchbook. Right, that's on my Patreon, and these are also on my Patreon. These are my scribblings while I'm supposed to be listening, but I'm a doodler. So, and those are also on the Patreon. So, anyhow, let me walk you through what I'm doing today. So, for the longest time, in the majority of my adult life, I really like working in mixed media, and working in mixed media, I have a fancy damn background. I tend to really explore different combinations of things together and tell stories in a more open, organic, flowing kind of way. And so, one of the things that I would do is you can really tell on the surface of this, but there's all kinds of different papers. And this is just a regular sheet of it's basically the same as typewriting paper, comic paper, but it's 11 by 17 sheet, and so I just started putting different papers down on top, and in the process of doing so, allowing them some time to cure, I guess, so that they don't, it doesn't all buckle, it doesn't all bunch up and come up with a mess. So what I got going in here is watercolor, I've got graphite, I've got different pencils, and then watercolors, gesso, matte medium, different surfaces. Now, my watercolor palette's really limited. Here's some of the papers that are actually in there, and they're actually in this composition. Whether or not you can see or not doesn't matter, but that stuff's sort of doing its own thing. So this is how this sort of thing comes about, is by just playing and just building up that organic thing. The suggestion for this was hot air balloon crash, and in my head, I've got this structured narrative that identifiably, if you cut the line, bottom line of the page here, and have the titling or whatever you want, which will have the structural narrative through here. Storm, balloon, crash. So there is a flow, an organic flow there. My palette for this is pretty limited. There's umber pencil. And for paints, I've got a vermilion for red. I have got a, what is this? Is this a sienna? Yeah, it's a burnt sienna. That is a Prussian blue. The green is made from the Prussian blue. And this yellow, which is kind of an ochre color, but not really. And there's a better color. There's a better ochre here that I usually would put on palette rather than this one. And just you'll see why in a second. Just because it's got that body to it, it's got that better depth of value. You can just see the slight difference between the two. So this is the first composition that I did, and I thought, well, one of them might be a nice bag. Let's get it, Chris! And walk you through how I go about building up, a multimedia composition this way. So, I'm going to turn this off. So what that gives me is a chance to show you specifically how I might walk into this process of building this out. So I'm going to try something new for a second that I learned how to do next. And that is let the... Is the camera going to do it? No, it's just going to stay steady. That's good, okay. So I've got a very focused bit. Okay, so this is this composition. Simple composition. There's not a lot of hard edges to it. Even the portrait of the person has a soft edge to them, which is sort of frozen in composition. And the landscape separation from the sky, and the nicer sky from the nicer sky. None of it really has too much strong front. That definitively separates it from the other. So I'm not overly concerned about that either. I mean, there's certain things that I can do after the fact too. I mean, I've got a poster here, and you can see how I started to cut this background away from the sky. So if I was to come in with a close-up, and to push that a little bit further, allows that clear delineation from one to the other. And then, of course, there's a little bit of business that I can add to the sky with the post-up, but kind of uncomfortable with where it's at now. I don't think it's entirely necessary to look at most things. So that's our first thing. And that's our first image for today. That I just want to show you. And I was working on this for about half an hour before the stream. Just started scribbling, and here we go. So I thought we'd do it. And for anyone that watches this, this way it sort of gives you an avenue to pursue using different things to make your stories with. So not be too hung up on concerns about how you're going to find happy accidents. Don't be too concerned about what you might perceive for minimized mistakes or little imperfect bits, because sometimes those imperfect bits have so much great control. And we want to celebrate it. Character. So this is just a little bit more. And cut down that one so that it really allows it to separate itself just a tiny bit. Just fun. Okay, let's do the next one. So I've got this umber color in my hand, and I thought, let's come at this a couple of ways. First, I thought I'd draw in our guy. Let's draw a guy who's in anger. and that'll be our starting point. And so just gonna pencil this dude in and see where we can take him. Now, I tend to draw a lot of things. I find that I notice more and more that a lot of people collage images together, and that's completely fine. Why would that not be fun? Some of I can't draw to me on the weekend. I'm like, so I just cut things out. And that's great. It works. Why doesn't that work? I should not be drawing it. Like, I told you that. Whoever tells you things like that, tell them to read books like that, because there's no hard and fast rules on how we should all be going about it. You're just trying to tell a story. And this is hot air balloon crash. This is going to be in English. So because of that, that allows us to focus just on what the story point is and not be able to concern about how we go about doing it. You want to put different images in that you've sourced from elsewhere, and do so if you just want to try to draw a composition and then develop it further to it. Just whatever you do in terms of find your comfort and pursue that. So, all right, so I've got a guy coming together here. Pretty pleased. Let's go in. And then we'll build around it. We're going to play with the colors and values of this. We're going to make them very different from the back. Just because and it's the same palette that I'm using. It's just a sort of completely different tone. Completely different tone of palette that we're coming from using the same basic colors. I can't remember what it's called. It's just the Zorn palette, I think it is, where you've just got this clear limitation on how many different values you can use. And so that's how it works, Especially if you study a lot of traditional masters and get a good sense of color and how value works from studying them. You can get really complex with our value system. You can get trying to make everything have this perfect value that's the perfect color of the object that we're looking at. Just explore. Okay, so here is this rough sketch of a guy in anguish, and so this will work as a good foundation for our overall image. And just fun. Just fun with a little pencil. And figure it out. So I'll go just a little bit of hair. A haircut there. Okay, so there's our starting bit. Now, what I've got here is, this is some of the papers that I was talking about that I'm going to put into the previous composition. So what I've got is, I'm just going to serrate them down. And the challenge here is that some of this medium that's on top of this paper on the surface here, it separates really easily. So I'm just going to be careful how we put it down so that we can still look at it to our image. And I'm not lose too much pressure. This is a grass paper. It's got a wonderful little pieces of grass within it. And it's just tissue paper with musical notes on it. So, okay, so that's gel medium here. I'm sorry, it's that. And so what I thought I'd do is just put some down, and let's just start applying some of these papers to the surface. And we'll just work them into, they really mean nothing as far as why I'm using these papers and why I'm placing them where I am. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm just putting it through the surface of the image, and read the rest of it will come in the process itself, and then I'll try and paint you in a different position. But this is just a baseline stuff. So one of the things that happens because I'm not covering the entire surface with medium, I'm really just using it to stick these different surfaces down. So you'll see some neat things happen, like the top piece. There's some little separations up here. That's matte medium adhering the surface down, adhering the paper down to the surface. But the bleed over of that, and because it's a watercolor wash on top of it, you can see how the pigment separates around it. It's the kind of stuff that I look for people through my universe. So, I'm not going to check that out. It's good. It's good stuff. Okay, so now I'm also going to monkey about with. Now I'm just going to move these papers and put a separate group inside my desk here. So I can go back to this later. Put the lid on that. So what I'm going to do now is come in and throw down some of this gesso that I have, and some light gesso. And it's going to do a couple things. It's going to retain some of those clear areas where the mat is, and it has to be resist for the pigment to watercolor. But I'm not going to cover all of them. But it also tones these back a little bit. Like that. So I'm going to go over some of the drawing with them as well, because I think, at the end of the day, all of this is because I can. So this is a fun approach to building up the surface. Now, what I'm doing right now, by putting this gesso down around the contour of this face, is what it does is it sort of leaves one sort of shape of lines on the texture and the surface, the texture lines on the surface of the paper. And that's why I drew some of the composition in print. Not all of it, but some of it. Just so I could pursue some of that. Okay. And you can see how there's some working with some of the texture on the paper here. And you can see how there's, because the paper is peeking through in areas, there's going to, when the pigment goes down at the top of that, the pigment's really going to collect in those areas and be much darker than the areas on the other side now. So that's going to be cool. And so, I'm looking forward to jumping in on this. Hopefully, I had a good second to settle. So there's the palette that I talked about earlier. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 yellows, a white and a black. And you can see that even for composition, I really didn't touch the back of that. So this is a watercolor palette, and squeeze them out of the tube. There you go. Now I don't want. I don't want to lose these paints as I go, so I just put a little bit of water. The whole that happens is quite hard to do. Yesterday I was working with him. I like to switch up what I'm working with. I'm using it to do so. So that I don't feel like, so I still feel connected to whatever different mediums I feel like trying. So, okay, so with I'm going to write down before I forget. This is a higher of a blue published. There's a suggestion for this one, and this one was English. Basic English. So one of the things that we can do for this, as part of storytelling is talk about how separate from. So, okay. Now, I've got, I'm just going to start working on the right. So, I've got some of this down and this red. The reason I switched to the clear pattern is so that lets people see what I'm doing with the processes. So. This little jazz riff that I found just to have something in the background of this. So it's not so bad. But I'm fine. Which I have. Streaming so people can see real-time processes. So that's when I feel like it has to constantly page. We're trying something new here. We're not just doing the same sort of stuff that everybody seems to. There's a lot of overlap in what people are doing. I find that boring, but just because I don't know. I just, I really want to try this charge at something really different. So, I'm kind of just considering it. Try to try this. I've got some put up some tutorials. I want to try to see some different approach ideas to storytelling. Looks like the responses from folks on it. But I've also had some kind of weird interactions. You do things weird. I wouldn't approach things that way. We're just doing what we're doing, having fun. So, okay, so I've got the start of a sort of base value for the person's base. I want to let that keep trying. I'm working wet into it, but at the same time, I still need to be conscious that certain things that I can check out. I always push that. Cautious on this one. So that's wet. So I don't know. So some of the weird approaches that I'm taking with this one-page slides is largely because I just I found myself getting stuck in a rut, and I didn't want to keep doing the same thing. So I'm going to allow myself back into the experimental mode that I've existed in the majority of time as an adult writing, and I'm sure I'm going to get right back in on it. So, I don't know. Other people appreciate getting on it. That's what I'm doing. I'm just thinking about the planes, the different planes and surfaces of the face that look at the face. So, going to town. Kim says, "Hey there, Mr. Christopher. I hope you're having a good day. Driving while listening to you." Cool beans, man. Driving safe. Have a fun time on the road. Are you going to or from a Depeche Mode concert? You're not. You're good. Okay, so the first mixed media page, the first mixed media short piece that I have to apply text to is the hot air balloon crash, and that came from a suggestion. And so that composition is up, and the new one for this one late is published. So I'm just putting this up. So I've got umber pencil, a red pencil now, a tiny little bit of black pencil. Gesso, matte, medium, print pen for papers, and pencil for that. Sorry, watercolor wash. Pencil red wash. Music is a touch. Oh, is it too loud? I'll turn it down. There you go. Okay. I hope that's better. That's true. Yeah. I've been listening to a lot of Andy Bennett. So I thought, hey, kids, let's have some jazz on the old show. So, all right. Okay, so I've got a basic composition going of our guy feeling anguish over something. And so one of the things that I can do is a different approach to the last one. The last one has the one that I did up above has here's the storm, here's the hot air balloon, here's the hot air balloon crashing, and this is the person telling us the tale. And whereas this one, the next piece we're doing down below here, we've got our guy who is clearly overwhelmed and overwrought. And so what I thought would be more interesting would be to have him in the foreground feeling what he's feeling, and then the majority of the background, the composition is going to be what happened that made him, or he's at the side of the road from like a crazy car crash. So I just thought this might be an interesting way to come at the page and to sort of give myself an avenue to just play with color. And now I know that a lot of graphic artists, when they're doing their pieces, they consider having different value systems in their compositions, like warm colors, cold colors, as tinting. From what I understand, I tinted all this part warm and all this part cool. I get it. I get the idea of it. We're going to play a little bit with that. So, all right. So I've got this crazy picture. So I'm going to use this crazy picture. This is a pencil that is entirely lead, and the interior and the exterior is just lacquer around the inside edge. So it's a nice solid lead pencil, solid. The whole thing is just the pencil crayon itself. So that's what we're going to use today. Let's keep going now. Thanks, Jim. So using this Zorn palette and using these basic colors that I've been using, we're going to put this image together. And then from there, I'll start putting some colors in. So I'm just going to crank out this remains of this composition. And so half of this composition is drawn on top of that medium and gesso, and the other half of this composition is underneath that medium and gesso. So I think we'll see some differences in application of the surface here. So, but we'll play things as we go. Found a little thumbnail. I'm trying to decipher the car accident, but then I'm just going to have to lean into a lot of imagination about broken cars. If anybody is, trauma because of a car accident, sorry about that. So using a different color and using a different, this is what we're talking about, the warm and the cool, and approaching the composition in this different way, I think is going to help to separate the foreground from the background. So that'll be interesting in how it plays out. Now, I'm also keeping conscious of, even if you're using any kind of reference, make sure that the lines from this piece of car don't go into the line of the chin, because then it attaches the background car piece into the face, and you don't want that. You don't want to mix these things up. It's just counterproductive, and it doesn't help the reader have a clear understanding that this one is in the foreground of that. It's not just giant heads stuck in a car crash. So it should actually sense and interesting. Giant heads floating down around the world and bring in the accidents. And there's this basic news story for you. Also, I'm not being too precious about the marks that I'm putting down, because I'm not going to be overly concerned about, it doesn't look like whatever the reference might be. That doesn't matter. The reference is just an idea, sort of guideline for you to understand. Here's the shape or idea of the thing, which is at 4 legs. But the specifics, unless you want to be a camera or color copier and just try to replicate the thing. You make lots of choices that distinctly makes it different and your own. So don't get too stuck in the source imagery, because it's just going to hold you up for your own creative process. Am I missing stuff? Oh, Jim says goodbye. Next year. So this is smoked up car number 1. And we're about to put in smoked up car number 2. And a little bit of background. Smooth as well. And I'll switch the values, the colors that I'm using for the background. So we've this prominently red, but we use this brown in here, so I'll probably switch to brown for whatever might be behind these banged up colors. I figure that out in a minute. But that way it'll separate what's happening here with the cars all banged into one another from what's happening behind here as well. And I like the idea of the hot, cool, hot jump. There's something to that. Let's have this type of see how it softened out the line over here? It's because there's still a little bit of that. Okay, so there's the remains of car 1. Now, inside here, I'm going to have car 2 sitting on top. Make sure I'm not missing stuff. Anybody has suggestions, BOOKSTORE suggestions or ideas, 3-word prompts, feel free to hit me up. I apologize if I'm spending less time shouting anybody up. Charming in this event today. Well, I appreciate you hanging out. Okay, so I'm drawing the underside of the card that's sitting on top of this point up here. And get that put in. So started the new week. I hope everybody is nice and relaxed and rested from everything. And that whatever you have to do today is something that you enjoy enough to get through. So you get back to the thing that you want to do. It's funny historically how many writers or artists will deny that they teach or they have what they do during the day, so that people, they want to be seen as this full-time creative, and apply that mystique to themselves. It's kind of the fine art community, people that do that, try to keep their financial situation separate from their artists that never quite got that, but at the same time I kind of do. I kind of understand. Jim says a bunch of 3-word prompts. A bunch of 3-word prompts. Waiting in limbo to be chosen. That's great. Starring Matt Damon. Not Matt Damon. Who's in the Outsiders? Having conversations with each other. great. Waiting to, oh, just waiting to be called up. All right, I wrote it down. That's a lot. Thank you. That's a fun suggestion. I got both that first part and second part wrote down. So, thank you for that, Jim. Okay, page 1 there. Yeah, so just drawing the bottom of this car and all of its parts and business and, you know, just at least rudimentarily in the image. But of course the image is basically cuts off like there. So it's not like we're going to be able to draw the whole car. So we've got enough of it to get the idea in, right? Okay. So there's enough of it. If I get to make it sort of underside of the car. Just put the top part of that away and put some of this extra parts in there. Okay, so here is the side of the vehicle, and again, I'm trying not to connect this line to this line. You can see they're nice and close enough, but I don't want to specifically connect it because it just sort of makes one part of the image from here to the next. See, this one I'm trying to keep those front and back lines up. Okay, so we've got some broken pieces of whatnot up here. And then there's that piece of tire. I guess it's the whole tire. Sort of sitting over this one. Alright, so here is a broken car. Number 2. So we talked about the car. Number 1. And why not? Let's put a third vehicle here. And this will be a pickup truck. F-150. I fell on an F-150 yesterday on the highway where I was driving. And we were stuck behind this big Ford pickup truck who's driving 40, 50 miles an hour because of, I don't know that. And a Ford F-150, and it's 4-wheel drive. The last thing we should worry about is a little bit of snow, you know. If there's a vehicle that can handle it, it's that. You know, 2 years ago we were driving, this Lori's mom lives there in St. Thomas, which is 45 minutes away from where we are. And so we got to drive down Highbury Road, which is a major road that our street is off of another street, and take us all the way to, you know, a few blocks from her mom's house. And it's a smaller speed. And a couple of years ago, we were driving home the same route, and this pickup goes roaring by me on the outside lane. And I'm like, that car's going to get me crashed. And sure enough, 300 yards down the road, you could see his lights to this crazy sort of a point thing off to the right. And as we're driving further up the road at the more comfortable pace that we're moving at, there he is, right off the side of the road into a farmer's field. He's got his truck turned, you know, turned into the field. He's not getting out of that without some effort, because he's right in the center of the farmland, and so that's all we really soft earth. But it's just driving too fast. And so, not paying attention, you're going to forward and back, but you're not going to get in a crash. Okay, so here's the back of a pickup truck that we'll put into our image. And then let's just put down the back of this composition with another value. And I'm going to go back to this ochre. And build this up back here. So we'll put a garage, parked in, tucked in behind where these cars are all piled up. And a bit of roof going there. If we don't get to see the whole thing, it helps us to fill in that there is a roof on the building. The other shadow, and look at the garage door here, and put some blue side. And that's a whole bunch of material propped up against the side of the shed. Just to fill this out, just to build up the composition. Thank you for that suggestion today, Jim. It's a great one. I really like that. It's got my brain just on fire. Thinking about trying to cook up something fun from that. Get some ideas. So put some siding over here. Got just an interesting shape over there, just to mix up this part of the composition, give it just a little more of something, so it gets a flower going through there. And then back here, draw a porch, I guess, of a house. And I think that's what I got seen on the thumb. So I get to define all that myself and not have to be overly concerned about what it actually looks like. You got an idea of something and I just run with it, right? All right, Chris. Sorry for missing something. Weird. Okay, so quiet day. I like a quiet day. I have expectation of people. It's always be out and about, engaging. I appreciate people working, and whatever fit people feel comfortable with. I need a tree here. So in my head, in building up some of the composition here, it's really just sort of like I talked about during the tutorial. I talked about drawing things with shapes. My head just goes off and puts together the shapes in interesting ways here. So that'll break down, form stuff in here. I'm drawing trees. There's our drawing. And so I think at this point, what would be interesting to do is to come in here and start pulling out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unify the image by pulling out white, little points of light through the whole thing. I've got a little bit of white gesso here. So let's start picking and choosing of it. Some shapes here in the background. The music sheet here and the different papers that are here in the background. I've said this before. You know, they're going to blend in whatever your composition is that you're doing that on top of here. So you don't have to worry too much about it. You know, but you'll find happy accidents, happy little situations here that enhance your image with those pieces of information peeking through. And to me, that's a lot of fun. So, all right. So I'm just going to continue to feel through. So I realize that this seems, this color comes off as fairly chaotic and haphazard in its application. I'm actually okay with that. I'm pretty good with that. And as we go farther along, I'm putting white throughout the image and things like that. You'll see them start to make a little more sense and things and stuff right here. And the overall image has been pulled together. And you can see how this putting the white through the windows here, you can more clearly define that. And I'm going to do the same thing with the pickup truck. We can put some color to these in a few minutes, but lots of fun shapes in that truck there. So this is a way that I'm really comfortable working. I've been working on the smaller cardstock, and I'm not saying I'm not going to be doing that personally, but I need to stretch a little bit. I've had kind of frustrating head, and just felt like I needed to stretch. Sometimes we got to figure out ways in order to control and maintain our anxieties so that they don't take over our day. And a lot of creative types we tend to be a little bit sensitive and have those anxieties and stresses interfere with our productivity because it sort of puts us into this sometimes fixation, sometimes mental slump, kinds of different outcomes. So I can focus on these challenges, or I can just put it aside and get back to doing that thing what I do. So, okay, so this is picking and ensuring some more contrasting red spots here. As I move across the image, bringing in this way. There we go. So it's coming along. I'm pretty pleased with this. I'm on white in a second, but that's all right. You get the gist of it. So this is the page for today. I think I'm quite enjoying going and doing it. But I'm also I've been working on this. I did this other piece the half an hour before, and so with these two today, I've still got I posted 4 pages this morning already, and on Patreon, and I get this stuff assembled and together, get this stuff ready to get posted. But I've got other stuff I have to do, so I think that's going to end up taking up my day. So thanks everybody for coming and hanging out, and thank you everybody that was watching in the balcony and so on and so forth. I appreciate it, but I'll be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. EST. I'll have this posted, one of these 2 pages posted, well, probably this one because it's the one I was doing for the thing. But I'll have this posted tomorrow on Instagram and Facebook and Patreon. I'll be back at 2 p.m. EST here on the stream to show you whatever we're doing now. All right, thanks everybody for hanging out. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye for now.